Hi, welcome to week 22 of our DGP. Please don't forget your name and your core as you begin completing our week 22. The big thing that I'm looking for when you are doing this are your commas for your day, month, date, and year. Those are so important. It just separates your day from your month, and it separates the date, like the 12th, from the year. So our sentence here today says, who can describe their horror and consternation on beholding me? I'm going to get rid of some of this so I have enough room here. And let's change to blue. So we are looking down here at the bottom. Here are our cheat sheet, our crutch on what we're looking for. And the first thing I notice is we've got a coordinating conjunction, things that tie two things together. And in this case, and is our coordinating conjunction. So we've already taken care of that. The next thing that I like to look for are action verbs. And I already know that describe is an action verb. And I look right before it, it's can describe. So here's our helping verb to add to that action verb. Now if you look at gerunds, we've got a gerund listed down here. And I'm going to tell you that a gerund is a verb that acts as a noun, and gerunds always end in ing or ed. So I'm looking for a word here that ends in ing or ed. I find that easily with beholding, so this must be my gerund. So I'm going to label that. I'm going to cross that out down there. And that's going to start for tomorrow, or in this case, the next slide. Beholding me, right here, is going to be your gerund phrase, because on is our preposition, and this will begin our prepositional phrase. So we've got our preposition taken care of. We have an interrogative pronoun. That's probably a new one you may be like, I'm not sure what that is. An object pronoun, a possessive pronoun, this is pronoun heavy, and then we have two nouns. So I'm looking up here, who can describe their horror and consternation? These are abstract, but horror and consternation are both of your nouns. And now I'm left with the word who, their, and me. It's their horror and their consternation. This is your possessive pronoun. It's showing ownership, so I'm going to mark that out. Your object pronoun is me. This is also the object of your preposition right here, but today it's going to be the object pronoun. And so we are left simply with our interrogative, and interrogate is meaning asking a question, and that is your word who. This is your interrogative pronoun. So that's our first day. Let's move to the next day. Again, don't forget, you need to practice your information on how to write your day, your month, your date, and your year. And we are left with the object of the gerund phrase, the adjective prepositional phrase, direct objects, subjects, and verbs. I like to start with verbs first, because if you look on this one, here is the verb describe. It's going to stay the same here. So this is your verb. It is transitive. That means we need to look for a direct object. So describe what? This happens to say that there's two of them. And we're going to describe the horror and consternation. So those are two direct objects. And who is going to describe? In this case, it's going to be your interrogative pronoun who, which is going to be your subject. But if I had put somebody's name in here, for example, if I said Drew can describe his horror and consternation, nobody would have any problem telling me that Drew is the subject. But throw in that interrogative pronoun of who, and that becomes a little bit tricky. So who is the subject of your sentence. I'm going to mark that off there. Now we're left with an adjective prepositional phrase, a gerund phrase, and an object of the gerund. Well, let's look at The one we just did. We have a gerund here in beholding. And a gerund, of course, is a verb that's acting as a noun, ending in ing or ed. So flipping back here, if beholding is my gerund, then beholding me is going to be my gerund phrase. If prepositional phrases start with preposition, then gerund phrases start with a gerund. We have an adjective prepositional phrase, and if I look back here, my preposition is on. This is going to be the same here. On beholding me is going to be your adjective prepositional phrase. This is an adjective because it's telling about, it's going to describe how they look or their consternation. And consternation is a noun. Anything that describes a noun is an adjective. And so I'm going to mark out my adjective. And then the object of the gerund is going to be me. This is your object of your gerund. This is your gerund phrase. And then beholding me is going to be the object of that. In your adjective prepositional phrase, right here, on beholding me, that's your adjective prepositional phrase. Your gerund phrase is the object of your preposition. And so we can see this a little more clearly when you go to look at your diagram. Back here, let's get rid of this page. I'll delete that page so we can flip back and forth. So here we have our sentence that we created, and here we have our diagram. Look, we have our subject right here. This line right here that separates who, your subject, from the rest of your sentence is the same line that is here and here. So who is the subject of your sentence? Your entire verb phrase needs to go here. Can describe. Who can describe what? This is where your direct objects come in. Horror and consternation. And so you have horror and consternation. You have your coordinating conjunction and that fits in right there. The possessive pronoun there goes for both horror and consternation, and how you do that on a diagram, it goes right here. Their horror and their consternation, and then the rest is simply your prepositional phrase, which comes in right here. On, and then beholding, and then the object of your gerund is me. And there you've completed the entire DGP for week 22. Hope this was helpful, and get this turned in. Thank you.